Oppression. Resistance. Revolution. One war, 13 colonies. A fight for freedom that changed history forever. Are you ready to witness the revolution like never before? For over a century, the American colonies thrived under British rule. Towns grew, trade flourished, and a new identity was forming, one separate from the crown. But beneath the surface, tension brewed. The people were growing restless, their voices silenced by laws passed across the ocean. In London, King George III and his Parliament saw the colonies as nothing more than a source of wealth. The Sugar Act, the Stamp Act, tax after tax, was imposed without consent. The colonists had no representation, no say in their own future. But the people had a choice: submit or resist. And so they resisted. On a cold December night in 1773, the Boston Tea Party sent a clear message: we will not be ruled without our consent. British tea, the symbol of tyranny, sank into the harbor. This act of defiance would not go unanswered. The Crown responded with an iron fist. The intolerable acts were passed, designed to break the will of the colonies. Boston's harbor was closed. British troops patrolled the streets, and colonial leaders were silenced. But instead of submission, the colonies stood stronger, united in their cause. For the first time, the colonies came together. From Virginia to Massachusetts, they declared that their rights would not be taken away. They petitioned the king, but the time for words was slipping away. And then the first shot was fired. April 19th. 1775, Lexington and Concord. The British Army marched to seize colonial weapons, but the Minutemen stood ready. No one knows who fired the first shot, but in that instant, the war had begun. The American Revolution had begun. The colonies were outnumbered, outgunned, and facing the mightiest empire in the world. But they had something greater: the unyielding will to be free. Under the leadership of George Washington, an untrained militia became an army. They fought not for land or power, but for an idea: the right to govern themselves. July 4th, 1776. The Declaration of Independence was signed, forever changing history. These words, "All men are created equal," became the foundation of a new nation. But independence was only a dream, until it was won in battle. The cost of freedom was high. At Valley Forge, soldiers endured a brutal winter, starving, freezing, yet refusing to surrender. Help came from unexpected places. France joined the fight, sending troops and warships. The tide was turning. October 19th, 1781. Yorktown. The British, trapped, outmaneuvered, and outmatched, surrendered. The war was over. The impossible had been achieved. The United States of America was born. 2 years later, the Treaty of Paris made it official. The British recognized American independence, and the world changed forever. But the revolution was more than a war. It was a promise that government exists to serve the people, that freedom is worth fighting for, and that the voices of the people must never be silenced. The history of the American Revolution, a fight for freedom. This was the fight that shaped a nation. the story of courage, sacrifice, and the unbreakable spirit of a people who refused to be ruled. The revolution never truly ended. Its spirit lives on. How will you defend the freedom they fought for?